Good evening, everybody. I'm Dune. This is another episode of Factorio Megabase. Right now, I'm not getting any desktop audio, so I might have to reset this. Let me just first check the recording options. Probably should have checked this out before I started the stream, but so far, whatever reason, the gain is not. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, it's just the game was silent because the game just went beep beep and it was captured. So the mixer's not showing it, but apparently it is being picked up. All right, so last episode we built out this huge iron ore in the south, and one thing I definitely want to do this episode is keep an eye on this. Probably going to want to do something to make this iron ore flow in a little easier. We're probably going to want to add some ability to get into the stacker easier without having to go through the roundabouts. A train coming in and making a right turn is not a big deal. One thing we did think about was sort of, it wouldn't be straightening, but kind of making this loop this way. So I think I'll start with that. We also have no waypoints at this intersection, so that's something to add as well. We probably add one right here without a whole lot of effort. Maybe here as well. So where are we? Got a whole ton of stuff left in my pockets after that. Let's just do some things. Get rid of these excess. Alright, that looks pretty good. One thing, fuel, train fuel. Probably going to want to start a few trains this episode. Like I said, we're probably going to want to get more iron ore. Let's have a couple stacks of logistic robots. Probably going to want some more, especially if I start a few mining outposts. Let's grab another set of engines and rail cars. I suppose we could have a stack of fuel. Okay, so to get there, we're going to just basically have to say pick an outpost, stone 10, and kind of control our access, or just get there and back out. I remember in my early games building stone outposts, and gosh, I never used them. There's a reason I'm still only on like stone 10 compared to iron ore 80 something. As it's definitely not used nearly as much. I remember my early base, having a stone outpost and thinking, gosh, this is just really a waste, and I just disable it and rip it up because I just wasn't using it as much. But I also didn't have nearly the demand that I have nowadays. I got all these stone trains up here flowing in for this brick factory. Let's disable, stop my train. Oh, that's actually kind of good. Pick up some of this. It's finished. Alright, so we need to move this power pole. That looks like a good spot. Let's just use the railroad planner thing. There we go. These aren't going to be perfect tracks. At least we shouldn't need them to be. We ought to be able to pull this up. Use my rail deconstructor so I don't pick up all this wood. Basically having two intersections to handle one is somewhat inefficient. Some rail signals in here. Sure things flowing nicely. I could use some further down, but I'm not going to go terribly crazy, but that fixes that intersection. Now, of course, this train wants to go right where my little guy is. We can't stay here terribly long. Now let's get a waypoint in here. Now let's put it on the north side. There it is. Well, that just barely fits. Actually, it may not fit. Alright. We won't do it then. There, because even though it looked like it could fit there, it really won't, because if it goes out on that where the waypoint is, it wouldn't be able to make a hard right turn. So we will put it here. There's plenty of room here to get it right. This light is blinking, so we need to get it in the right spot. So it's this one. Okay. Let's put this more in the middle. Oh, crud. I just pulled up my engine. Oh, I know I pulled up that train's engine. Just plop that down. Make sure that thing's all set up again. No, what am I looking for? Yeah, fuel. Where is he headed? Cover over. I just knew there was a. Let's back him up. Can I back you up? I just put a train on it. Usually puts in the manual when you change their a train's contents. What is more in the middle? There we go. All right. And then we need to name these. Map was just blinking there. S1 to east. So we can probably just copy this. And name this S1 to So these waypoints don't affect any train just going straight through. It's for trains you want to control their action, you know, the routing. All right, I think that's helpful. Let's get out of the way of that one train. And we need to open up some mining in the south. So all this down here. Do want to keep concentrating on this area where this is at. So when we go to expand it, hopefully all this stuff has been mined out. Let's go after that chunk right there. It's a pretty good chunk. We could probably put at least 2 trains there for sure. Probably more. How many trains we got coming to the 7 million one? Just one. That's like 70 million for one train. Yeah, it's not going to get mined out terribly fast with only one train. Same thing with this thing. I bet you there's only one train to each of those. So probably ought to... Really could use some kind of stacker, but the length of this track is basically long enough, especially here, for, you know, a train to sit idle. This is probably more than likely just temporary track. Once it's all mined up in this area, it'd probably be removed. So I think, well, let's still go after this. You know, that's kind of what we were thinking. I was thinking I might come up from here, but, you know, we got this beautiful temporary track. Let's just head down to iron ore 80. And add another outpost down there. So these are split in copper and stone. I love these splitters they added in 16. Priority splitters. Used to have to do it with circuits before, and it was never as efficient as this. And we're going to need another copper out. Actually, I think we already did it for this guy. Never mind. This copper outpost. It says 0, even though if you've been watching the stream, we know it isn't. No, I don't want to be at copper 80 actually, though. Set up a new one. And the bots. The problem with putting storage chests on you know, little outposts is the logistic bots will come and empty your pockets, and I'm not really a big fan of that when you don't want them to do that. So I think this track is kind of as far as we want it to be. We just want to kind of make another thing up here like this for this section. Almost, gosh, we can almost just blueprint this whole thing. Except for this needs a radar down here because I can't see it. And if we simply start here, drag up. Obviously, we don't want any of this stuff. I'm not going to do that. I might do it from here. Because I don't want any of this stuff either. let's just eyeball this. This is going to be what I want. Maybe at some level, but it's actually going to be kind of too far north from the... No, we're just going to have to build this out manually. Erase that blueprint. We will extend this one more time. Really, we're going to want to spur. We're going to do 2 trains officially into that. We can use this, like I said, for that. We're going to use back here for this one. I mean, it can potentially block once these start getting lower, but we just shall not build a stacker and then just send extra trains. So we want my left spur blueprint, off horizontal track. Like so. And then we want this guy. Don't need you. And we need some loading for bots. Some roboports. And some miners. Well, let's bring up some power to you. Go. Well, let's add this yarn first. Okay. Then we can do this, and it's kind of really easy to see when yarn's doing it too. We put a space, another space. We can do just 3 sets of miners. Actually add another set of spaces. So we do this one here. Kind of space like that. We get that in there. And those will actually overlap, so let's not do that. Okay, pull up ones that have no ore. Kind of like no ore of their own. Put a power pole in. And we're in business. Bots. Storage chest. And one construction bot. Pick up miners as soon as they're done mining. Looks like we do need another roboport down here. Put it on a patch that's got power. Still need to make sure it covers all the chests. And away we go. All right, so we can set up the 2 train. Actually, we need to give this outpost a name first. So it's going to be like these 79 and 80, except for it's going to be whatever the highest iron ore is, plus 1. So it's going to be 85. And we will set a couple trains. Kind of wish one of those trains was there and we could just copy it, but that's alright. Oops. Why are these? Am I in map mode or something? Something funky was happening. Okay, so this was 85, right? 5, inventory full, and then ore unload. Loads, iron ore unload south, inventory empty. Let's just quickly copy it, and then set it to automatic, and it's already full. We'll just set down the next one. Grab fuel from my main train. Grab 2 out of each car. Paste the other one. Set it to go to iron ore. And in a moment it'll be full. Train I expect to be rumbling out of there relatively quickly. So we will just use one of these other spurs to get onto this proper side of the track. And I'm going to add a train to 80 and 79 when we get back. And that's going to be 4 new trains. And that probably will help this quite a bit. Just a few extra new trains I found early on was just way plenty. Of course, these facilities are a lot larger than they were back then. Neighbors in their very loud vehicles. They were running around in an ATV earlier. That was just, the kids were all playing around on it. And I'm all for kids having fun. It can be obnoxiously loud. Kind of wish I'd left more room when building this for, you know, some sort of 4th track. Oh, all this needs signals. Let's just go signal sitting there. From when I placed down this massive blueprint of the stacker. Here we got to put in. Speed up the trains somewhat. Probably could use more signals in this area because it's high traffic. You can kind of see having all these signals here, how fast these trains flow exiting because there's a lot of signals. So what stations are we adding to? 79 and 80, yes, okay. You know what, if I could hang around there a moment. Make this one 80, let's copy him. Click and send him on his way. fuel. Kind of rushing myself because when that 79 train gets down there, if he's down there, which he is, I can just shift right click him and then shift left click him here and send that on its way. All right, that's 4 new trains. Get rid of that. This, I guess that was the train all to itself. That's right, it was. There was another stone mine at some point that got depleted. I was thinking it was this train here, but it's not. Yeah, it's fun to be playing with trains when an actual train passes by my place, and it's always picked up on the microphone. I'll just enjoy that for a moment. I always find that fun. So I've used to put input and output lanes together, but this flows so much better because as soon as it gets out here, then you want the input can start getting another train in there sooner. So the way I have this designed is it counts the train in a station of an outpost as being part of the stacker. That's why it's outputting iron ore. It's the train's in here, it's outputting iron ore as part of the stacker. So it's showing 4 trains. 1, 2, 3, and now 4. Got another one coming in, 5. Well, and we got this one in here I didn't count, so should be 6. Well, that's because that one left. It's hard to keep up with things. But once, say, right now, not all of these are active, is because the way I have it set, say for like 7 here, 7 is, the average is 12K in an outpost. See, this is 7 just blinked to green. As long as it's less than the average, then it will accept an ore train. But if there's a number of ore trains equal to or greater than N, then, and now we have 8, including trains that are actually unloading, then all of them will be open. And since this train just left, now these are red again. It's a little process I've developed over time. So, you know, if there's not enough trains to cover every station, then prioritize them to the stations that are, you know, don't have enough ore basically to fill a train. And if there is enough ore trains to cover every outpost, well, then send a train to every outpost. So it's a neat process. I used to only count the trains in the stacker, but, you know, I figured, you know, why not actually count the trains in the station too? And that seems to be a really good method. So you might have noticed that the train at the front of the line sort of hesitated to begin with. It's because it was trying to probably get in here, and it was red, and then 5 just sort of flicked to green, and then was able to get in there. This process of controlling the signal is as a solution I came with, which I'm actually not entirely digging anymore, since I've started doing these outposts, or really the station where a train actually can never get to, because I control a signal and always make it red. The reason I started going with signals, controlling the signal, is because, it was bad to disable all the stations, because then the trains in the stacker would get confused, thinking these stations didn't exist anymore, and they'd go back to their mining outposts. And it was just sort of creating a bad cycle. Or they'd start to no path if there was no exit. Like in this current situation, iron ore trains flowing in, there's no way for them to actually exit. I might go back to that. I mean, I kind of like the way I have it, but I don't think it's quite as efficient as if you actually disable a station. The problem with this is if you start controlling the station and a train starts to pull in, and it gets to about here, and then this flick disabled, the train has nowhere to go, and it stops. So what you have to do in that case is what I've done in the past. That's actually a pretty momentous event right there. I'll get back to that in a minute. Is you would read the signal that's coming in. You wouldn't control it, and if it was anything but green, you would allow the station to be, if it was green, you would allow the station to be disabled. If it was like yellow, you would not. So, and then if it was red, well, there was already a train in there, and it really didn't matter at that point. So it's so that was sort of a process I went through. You'd read the signal coming in, and that's why there's still in these blueprints, there's this green wire here and green wire here. That's not actually connected to anything, because those actually this one is still connected to the station, and you can see it's yellow. To the signal, you can see that it's yellow. It sees that there's a train coming in, but it's not connected to any circuit anymore, or any logic system. And this one also might still be connected. No, it's not. And that's alright, because it's not controlling anything. And somebody's honking for a neighbor. What I do like about controlling the stations, though, is you can actually see when you're in map view which trains or which stations are accepting. In my current system, you can't tell that. You can't tell that this is red. This station 7 is red because this still is enabled, even though it's not accepting a train. Mute the mic briefly for a second and catch the whole honking, but all right. We have some things. Whoops. Let's see where this coal is. I'm pretty sure I know where it is. Here. It needs to be replaced. I'm thinking this guy right here is a good situation for that. So it's only got 2K left. Speaking of which, the bonuses now is plus 900%. That is amazing. Considering, you consider the first 100%. So we're at 1,000% productivity now. That's just incredible. So pretty much when I look at anything, the stone, instead of 252K, you add a 0 behind it, and now it's 2.5 million. That's just easy math. this coal here then is 20 million coal. That's pretty fantastic. So I'm thinking probably come in right here to tap it. If it weren't for this crude oil here, I'd probably still come in this way, but the stacker and stuff is not really needed for a single item. And a train kind of really has to go way out of its way to get this, come in way over here to the right. So we will come down to W21S and build ourselves another outpost for coal. Alright, so, and the reason I have a funky view right now is because I was still in Yarn view. Alright. How am I on bots? I have 100. That's good. I don't really want to come all the way back. If I want more, I'm not building another train, so I don't need to think about that. Don't need those speed modules. And don't need those power poles. Even though I'll be using some power poles. Yeah, we can keep those. Alright. Undergrounds, don't need those. Don't need those belts. Alright. So W2, right? W2. I think it was W21 south I want to go to. Double check that as we go. Where's that? Yes, W21 south. So the neat thing about these waypoints is they also make easy navigation of your base. You might not have trains. In this case, there are trains using this waypoint. There's probably not for that one, since it's kind of going out this way, but it can be helpful to route your trains. Well, actually, the reason why there's one here is because it's my train. So really, I kind of went hog wild creating all these outposts. It really wasn't quite needed. It's neat waypoints, and I label them the same name, even if they are on opposite sides. I think it's probably more efficient if they weren't the same name. It's just, I mean, if you look at my list of stations, it just goes on and on and on and on. So to add 2 more for every waypoint would just be, and I use the underscores for the waypoints, so they're at the bottom of the list. Anyways, we'll set you to manual. Oops, I'm in map mode, and I just got out of my train. This could actually use some signals here. It's a little more efficient. This whole intersection could use some of this love. Let's cut through here and a little closer so it's easier to do this. Down here, kind of got to remove some trees. Trees don't go over signals too well. Oops, I'm on my hotbar, don't need to do that. And out here, how are we doing? See, this track is every other. This is really inefficient nowadays for my base. I used to make these signals be the length of one whole train apart, and that just makes for slow moving trains, especially once you start to expand into that area. And this track, at least for a while, was pretty well used. When plastic was my main part in the south, I've opened up a new plastic facility in the north, closer to the red circuits, my new petroleum build and stuff. So let's remove some of these trees in the middle so I can just walk straight, not bump into track. or bump into a tree, which would then cause me to bump into track. So, so you know it's a little off center. All right, that's done. It looks fine. There's probably more like that elsewhere, but don't have to fix it right now. But as I move into this area with more outposts, there will be a need. I'm wondering if there's a signal right here. Is there one? Yes, I couldn't even see it. I've been looking forward to that 1,000 productivity for a while. It just makes math on that so much easier. Just add a 0 to everything. Okay, so we can come down here. Let's add that spur and then kind of come this way. So that intersection's kind of far enough away from everything. Eyeball that. Set it here. It should be fine. So we want that horizontal left again. And shift click that one. Hold down shift and the track will go straight. And then we can drive on it. Station on here, about like so. We don't want the signals because we don't want another train coming in here. Coal station is just generically named coal, and another train would try to come in here if it could. At some point in this, whoops, let's not put it on the bottom. Why do it on the bottom? Let's put it up here on the top side. Right, groovy. We got power right here. That's convenient. Put some roboports. Sort of equally distance apart. It'll be fine. Let's add this D-arm. Don't name my coals. So like this coal here is just southwest, whatever, and that's the name the yarn comes up with. And we can do, start placing these down. Have to make some more space, and then could put 2 spaces between, since a miner actually is 1 space around. If you kind of look at my blueprint, you can see it's got a little blue excess handling. You know, you can see the blue outline around it, and you can see sort of where they overlap. It's brighter blue, and that just means those miners will mine that area faster. I mean, if I did that 2 down, kind of could have another one there. Be a little faster maybe, but I don't really worry about that too much. Spots are kind of efficient. All right, just need some power. This upper row is not connected to the bottom row, so we'll need to do that. And just do that. Good. Then we do need to add this like so, and oops, we need to change these to coal. And shift right click and lock it down. Okay. So coal's on red. Actually, it really doesn't matter. But we shall enable disable when coal. Actually, I have that up here on one of these newer outposts right here. Let's just, that's got a disables the station. Forgot I was doing that with these. Let's, we'll use that same power pole here. So, enabled if everything's greater than or equal to station. Where was I putting in station? Did I set up a whole new system? Where's station being assigned? This here. This is outputting station. This is station saying the green wire. Okay, and I didn't connect the green wire. So, everything should be good to go then. So the train shows up. We're not quite good to go. We need to name that coal. CO. Oh. Doesn't sort the list. I really kind of wish it did. There we go. So we should start to get coal trains. And this one's probably, wonder if it'll ever activate again. Probably just might have to send a train there manually. Kind of want to go pick up all those things, all those miners. See where I've thrown grenades there in the past. Heck, when all this was being cleared. I think I could probably clear, yeah, I probably would have definitely cleared this area before there were artillery trains. You mean? We need another power pole to start to remove these. This boy is almost done. Done being cooked. Cooked and cooked. That's not going to change anything, but if I put output priority right, set that to deconstruction planner, and then pick those guys up, put them back down in here. They will flow, and this won't get output clogged with anything. Alrighty. surprised we don't have a train waiting for the station now. Right, it's ready to go when one shows up. We don't need you. Try to head back to base. And C52, that's that copper right here. Is this done yet? Almost. Really, just almost, like 440 left to be output. So very, very, very soon. I'm thinking we could just head there, but you know what? Do we have some empties I can go pick up? Let's do that while that's happening. Add a push to mute button so I can take drinks and stuff and not sound like I'm gulping on stream. It's pretty handy. And there's times I like talking all the time and you want to cough and it's not going to just slam the mic with a cough. Power going through here like so. Just be careful not to pick up that power pole there. Actually, it's probably okay. No, it's not. Okay, just leave it. Oops, don't want to pick up the track. I want to have room to go out. Alrighty. I just thought I just turned you to manual. Didn't. So having a deconstruction planner with, set to certain things, like in this case track, and this one down here is for laser defenses. You can pick these things up through trees and not pick up the trees. It's definitely a handy little thing to keep on around all the time. Kind of nice to have a deconstruction book. But people keep suggesting on the forums, I think the developers just laugh at us because I don't know why, but whoops, I don't want to do that to that spot. Alright. These chain signals no longer needed. Alright, that empty is all taken care of. Go to another one. We're doing for space. Okay. Yeah, a bit to this. Slow to drive. I'm going to figure it out. If I make a left turn there, I'd go into base and empty up. But we got a stone 8 and 0. I definitely got to look at that. We got enough materials to build another outpost. We got to find the stone 8s in the north. kind of like eyeball that. I can't do it while in a train. Did I come to a stop? Nope. Or no. Where we're headed. Stone 8. North 1611. It's roughly from where you spawn in. So there it is right here. And he's got nowhere to go. But let's do send him to unload. So at least he'll come back and grab some more out of these. Probably could add that to this outpost. And it'd be all good. I was thinking we could add those, but we quite haven't blocked this off yet. This was a pretty big outpost at one point. Actually, there was another ore patch like right there. Had like 3 trains coming here. So the rest of that power is to radar, so we'll just leave that. Interesting thing about having 1,000 production, it makes pretty inconsequential ore patches actually somewhat substantial. Like an 800K is now an 8 million. So it's kind of cool. Used to be a pretty busy track right here. Let's not pull up that rail signal. Let's just skip it. Go. Don't need that, I don't think. Or do I need one like in the middle though? Alright. Let's head back and empty our pockets. You know, let's just head up to Stone 8. Got the materials on us, so there's no reason to do that. Stone 8. Get a little trip. It's all the way up at the north border. Check out how our outpost is doing. Might need a little bit more train action. How's our flow though? Still averaging only about 14K. It's not quite good enough for me. I mean, our trains, our pickup trains, there's only 2 waiting. I'd like it a little better. Like none waiting, honestly. Something I just realized. I have a number of these plate trains. Actually, never mind. Still using the same exit. My steel plate trains. That's, what is GP? I forget. Oh, gears and pipes. See, they're using the S31W waypoint and S31W. It's going to be over here. So yeah, they stop here because they come from here. And I just wanted to make sure they routed this way. This track's not too busy right now. This section's probably fairly busy, but it seems to be flowing okay. The iron or the steel trains, these guys, they load and they go to SE11 North. SE11 North. Okay, so they flow out of here and then they come across here and turn there. But when they're coming back to load up, after they unload, they go to S31W. S31W. This spot. That's right, because they come out of here nowadays. They used to come out back here and go south, but they come here and then come down and then across. I'm wondering if it's not maybe more beneficial to send them down to here and across, but you know, like I said, it's nothing's getting clogged up at the moment. It's okay. And that's the neat thing about waypoints, because otherwise they kind of weave through all this, and you don't want to making hard, hard left turns, say on this busy intersection, if you can avoid it. And this was very busy for a time when my belt and all the science and stuff was being made in here. And all these little access points to the main track. It's really a bad strategy. I used to have all these used to come in and out right here, and literally there was no rail signals along here. In fact, there's poorly placed ones still. But I mean, not poorly. Like it could just have a few more in there, and trains would flow a little better if there were a lot of them. Well, anyway, so. That's the reason why you make, this from the steel outpost. Come down and across. Let's check out steel anyways while I'm talking steel. And we still have 100,000 average. That's good. In fact, we built this up. Average 170,000 now in this iron. It's good. We have pretty much the right amount of input to the output. It's keeping up nicely. And anyways, where are we? Oh yes, we are going to the stone. This is literally not getting anything. I do want to pull up these. Well, I don't have to pull up the chests. We can send them away anyways. My train will come in. The reason why this loop is here is because I originally had this, used to be mining a patch here, and so I moved this intersection over a little bit. And so this double track was actually like right here. Kind of see a line through there. And so when I set up this outpost, there was plenty of room. And then when I moved this track over, suddenly there wasn't enough room for the train to be able to turn in. So, anyways, it's almost all fixed. Let's get rid of, I'm going to get rid of all the belts. And then I'm going to put down rotor port stuff. don't need the top inserters because it will be bot based. Oops. Put that down in its place. I guess I have to hand place the other chests. I think I'm going to have to hand make a few. I'm going to have to hand make 3. And I don't have room. Oops, where'd it go? Don't really want to do that anyways. Let's set out some track there, move my train up a little bit. And I'll just add a couple signals so my ore train can come in. Because I need to set up this on the end of that train. I didn't want stone going in. Let's just drop off some junk into it. We're going to need some miners. We're going to drop that. Okay. Power. I'm going to need that power. Oh, and then I need to handcraft 3 of those. And then change that to stone 334. Copy them in. Alrighty. Roboports. Probably not as many needed here. Plus, what's all this? These my bots? I don't know. Anyways, let's just stick that guy there. Put 2. And where am I going? There. Oh, there's another network up here. That's a lot of... Oh, this was self-contained. It's whatever, we're not going to be able to deal with it. I guess we'll leave it. These are construction bots anyways. You really shouldn't interfere with each other. Oh shoot. But those construction bots will attempt to do something, and there's nowhere for them to put their stuff. Alrighty. Pick that puppy up. Do you want to set one way back here? Send you on your way again. Yeah, we don't have to do that. And you'll just have to wait. There's enough other trains doing their thing to... Was that my last robot part? Guess we can't put 2 down there. I don't know if that's going to cover all these. Those are connected, so we're good. Do need to put in our miners and see how they look. We actually will be fine. Need some power. Some bots. And add your own robot port in here. So that's all I got on me. Might be able to handcraft a couple, which you can. Let's do that. A lot of gears though. These bots traveling back and forth, they're going to want to stop for juice. A little Java juice for bots. Kind of far to travel for these bots. A little more efficient just to move this thing, but it's fine. Let's see. I don't know what I was. Oh yeah, I was handcrafting these roboports. One's almost done. Be better. Place this sort of on their flight line. Same for this one. So I don't have to deviate a whole lot just to get some juice. And where do I want to put this other one? About just right where this power pole is. Alrighty. So for this stone, we need to add this new stone patch to its yarn. Where's this copper? It's actually that one, huh? Okay, well, let's delete that one. When I'd gone to click down there, I'd misclicked, and you misclick in Yarm, it's not forgiven. And we're going to send you out of there so I can get out of here too. I'm going to go the wrong way. So I can get turned around. So when I pull in, this stuff will all unload automatically. And then we got, so this copper here, copper 52, we just, where that's at, we've been looking at it several times. How's this here? There's nothing in the chest, so let's just delete that station on that train. And rename that to empty for later cleanup. And what's our train stuff? Actually, I could probably just delete it from yarn like now. Don't have to be out of my train to do that. 68 northeast for iron. Gonna look for this guy. This guy, he's still got a smidge. But is this train got somewhere else to go now? So he's probably going to want somewhere else to go. So he should probably go after that. Kind of like to maybe wait on him a little bit. I'd like to just straighten out this track before I did that, but before I travel all the way up there and I have to travel all the way up there again. Alright, let's get rid of some junk. Actually, 400 is what I request. Track. Do some of that. Stations could use half a handful. Really don't need to carry this many lasers anymore. Let's drop that down to 150. How's that coal spot doing? Doing okay, and it's actually available. The train will show up there at some point. This plastic's probably jam-packed. Yeah, 500K. Many plastic trains come here anymore. They used to all come there, pretty much. Got this new plastic one up here now. It's doing quite well. Good to see. 300K in it. My little strategy of creating this, basically the duplicate of what I had in the south, except for instead of having a giant refinery trying to power it up, is just have 2 petroleum trains on either end of it doing the job. Kind of noticing, don't think those petroleum outposts from the trains are sharing, so these petroleums on the on the right side are slow to unload. Could kind of do something about that. Because these tanks are empty. This one's almost empty. We could add a couple pumps going either direction and then, control the circuits, like if it's greater on one side, pump it the other way, versus greater on the other side, pump it the other way. Kind of even things up. I mean, the system's working, it's not broken. Like I said, there's 300K plastic sitting here. So maybe it just forces the right side to work more. You know, once the petroleum runs out here in the middle. It's not ideal in my opinion, because like I said, these aren't working when they could be. So we have a fair amount of undergrounded pipes. We'd want 4 pumps. I could hand make them, but there's some right here. Take half a handful. Maybe another thing of underground pipes. We don't need you anymore. Whoops. Probably already have PG station. No, I don't want PG station. I want plastic station 2. So this episode seems to be mostly about tweaking, looking at how things are doing. Average 300K of circuits in the north, so that's really good to see. It's probably one of my uglier stackers, but I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't add it pretty much any other way to make it work. It's doing its job. Little damage train running around, not quite sure why. Almost to our destination. How about just right there? Okay, so kind of ideally, this one and this one would talk, and this one and this one would talk. Problem is, they're not very well placed for that. I did something like that. Can't put it there. You know what? What if I did something much simpler? I'd have to put pumps on this side, but then I could just have. Yeah, I could do that. Basically, wire these 2 tanks together, and these 2 tanks together. We need to give them names, because otherwise they're all just PG. Let's grab a substation in here. So we can power the pumps I'm planning on putting down. Sometime as a circuit. Even though I really don't need that one there. Just a little helper. So the red, you need to put it at. And output. And we will need, oops, petroleum gas. this +0 output as east. And copy and paste that, and then change this to W for west. Alright, so we have east and west. East is 43K, west has 42. And what we do is we put down a couple of pumps. Put one that way and one that way. Then we wire these together. And we say if east is greater than west, activate. Okay. And this one is if west is greater than east. Greater than east. Go the other way. Well, eventually these will just start oscillating as they equal out. But now we should start to see west catch up. Of course, there's a train unloading as well, but they should equal out. That, you know what, we don't need these, honestly. I realize, I mean, ideally they could, but these two tanks actually already share. Alright, so let's do it to the other side. Realize there's not a these will talk. Let's put down that red cable between these tanks into the input of that, the output of that to the substations, the output of that one. And then we shall just copy and paste these. Alright, so we got our little east-west thing going on here. Let's see if we can find another nice location. These guys share again. It's not quite as pretty this time. We're going to have to move this pipe back a spot. Kind of do that. That there, this like so. And get our two pumps in there. Go one way, go the other. Alright, and this one is going to be if west is greater than east. And this one's going to be if east is greater than west. So, those should equal out as well. And all is good once again, theoretically. Send our little train back to base and kind of look over things some more. How's our new petroleum facility over here? We are at an average of 390,000, which is excellent. I love it. These are looking good. Plenty of petroleum to be had for all. Kind of puff this up a lot, saying how much I love it, but literally – this whole thing right here is one 1,000,000 gallon separate, self-contained petroleum refinery outpost. Easily duplicatable. It's I like it. You know, it just has a crude train over here feeding this. You know, you just saw that train pull in, pull out really fast, and you can look at 3 there, which is this bottom station. It's ticking up at 1,000 literally every second, and we're running at 27 UPS. It would be a lot faster if we're at 60. UPS seems to be improving as I'm removing belt mining and replacing it with bot mining. So I'm hoping that's what it is. Of course, I'm also looking at a corner of the main base. Oh, we're at 27, so that's really awesome. You don't really have good signals, and that's why these trains are kind of waiting. Look at this big gap between signals. That train literally had to wait until that other train was way out here somewhere. Yeah, poor routing there. That's really at the corner of my base. I can go run down there and fix it. I really don't spend much time in this part of my huge megabase anymore. Rocket taken off. Oh, literally these. Whoops. Let's start one back. And I have this in my blueprint, but the problem is signals. I can't put a track there, or a signal here, which is actually pretty poor. Let's modify this a little bit. Be better if you widen the turn. You can get signals in there, get one in front, put a real signal there. That should not be a signal, or at least not a chain signal. And this is another case of that. Can't put a signal there, so it's all one big block. It's not horrible, but it's certainly not as pretty as it could be. Like putting one there wouldn't help, it would just blink. And we can add some more signals in this area here. Let's look at this one big block right here. Of course, I just added some of this chain signal there. That doesn't improve the intersection, it just makes it so a train pulling forward would signal the ones behind. That was cleared that section of track. That should flow a little better, I would think. And we got some more signals in here. I literally didn't really understand signals at one point. kind of thought I was getting better, and I was, of course. But there's this long section of track, no signals. So literally, like a train would have, that was waiting for the train before it to move. Have to wait a long time before it was allowed to move up. And this should not be a chain signal before a merge. It should be a rail signal before a merge. Let's add that more in the middle here. And that's an exit row, so this literally should be chain signals. Where's that facing? And let's just double check, make sure it's in the right spot. This is before a merge. It's after a merge, doesn't really need one, but it's okay. This probably don't have a whole lot of outflow there. This is my nuclear train below me there. Probably never going to pull him out again. Wonder if this is wise, if I should just leave that as a chain signal. It's one sort of block in there. I really want it. Trains get confused. It's working as is. My science trains. And I'm out of signals. Let's just go stand by our RoboPort and we'll get some more. These aren't really needed as so many anymore. These are more for constructing these down here. These nuclear plants required a lot of materials. And my base bots did all the construction. Anyways, they're giving me the signals I want. Kind of all standing. With those RoboPorts, we can do a little more of this work. Having all these in the system, these are before a merge. They should be rail signals. Connects all the way down there. Don't even really need that, but we'll leave it. Alright. Still down here. These guys are feeding me. That should be much more helpful. Kind of reached the limits of my science here. These robo ports just barely cover all these in the middle. We're going to expand this someday. We're going to have to probably create another outpost or something. You know, it's consuming 1,800 pots a minute. And that seems to do quite well at stressing my base. Alright, let's have a look around. Things are kind of backed up there, but it's unclogging. Oh, that should be a chain signal. Probably never going to be a problem, but it could be. Should have a chain signal right there. I was always wondering why the trains would come in and they'd stack behind another train. And it's because these rail signals before a stacker. You should have a chain signal before a stacker. Let's go up to our new iron station north. Haven't really been back there since we built it. And change out one rail signal. It's a long way to go to do that, but and I'm probably going to call this an episode after we do this. I'd like to play some Assassin's Creed tonight. I'm going to place that chain signal over here. We'll go do that. But this one I literally have to replace by hand. $200,000 times 8, that's 1.8 million. Is that right? No, that would be 2 times 9. 1.6 million. Iron plate sitting here, that's really nice. We do production wise use 200,000 per minute. It's huge. Huge, I say. Huge. 200,000. Wow. Well, we're producing about the same rate as we're consuming, so we'd definitely be Maybe add a little bit more here and there. Looking at things over. See, in the south, we only have 17K average, 14K average. It's not ideal. Still need more iron trains down there, even though we just added 4. But these bots are busy, so they really can't take another train each. So yeah, these just quieted down as new ones, another train shows up. So it's about right number of trains. How's this doing? Probably use some help in here. Do we have a storage chest to that? Yes, it's right there. I can do that, and my construction bot will go pick that up. Nice. I like that. Still doing quite well here. And that's 2 million, which is really 20 million. Does it have 3 trains servicing this? Yeah. Probably, since these have depleted, we could probably move one of those trains elsewhere. Anyways, we'll pick this up probably tomorrow, midday-ish. Oh, it is Saturday. I don't know. Being Saturday, it really doesn't change my schedule a whole lot. Oh shoot, I wanted to call a friend. She works late nights, but I probably missed her. She's already at work. Alright, well, this is an episode. Thanks for watching. We will catch you next time. Have a good day.